Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. So you can see we've got the Paceman in the background, but that's not subject of today's video. So that's actually up for sale. So the replacement is actually standing in front of me, and there is a reason why. It's not going to not everyone's going to be happy, but hey ho, an opportunity came up and I've got to put family first. So one of the things we're doing as a family a lot, especially now living in the countryside, is we are spending a lot of time going out weekends away, going for walks and things like that. And a particular van came up. I've been looking at camper vans for a while, and one came up that was really smart and ticked all the boxes. So I decided to make the jump and switched from the Paceman to a van. So in particular, so I've been doing lots of research in terms of what to get. And for me, it came down to the Transporter, the VW Transporter, or the Transit Custom. You can see we've got all the building work going on in the background as well. So the builders aren't here today, it's a nice quiet day, so I thought I'd get a video quickly done. And for me personally, because you've seen my cars, obviously I like bright, I like sporty looking. I think actually the Ford Transit just ticks that little extra box. Maybe the interior is not as nice, but the exterior for me, I just prefer the look of. So let's flip the camera around and introduce you to the next build on the channel.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Okay, so if we do a little walk around of the exterior of the van, you can see we've got a rear spoiler already at the top of that. It's actually got an aftermarket exhaust on it, so there's not much of an extra sound to it from what I can see. We've got the colour-coded trim on the back there. If you come around to the side, you can see we've got those 18-inch caliber wheels. So they're quite smart. I'm not going to change those, quite like those. And we've got the step on the side, which is quite interesting. I need to double check whether they're actually designed to take an adult's weight or if they're there for looks, but again, it looks quite smart. Someone's obviously colour coded all of this, so it is an XAA van, so it is yellow. You can see we've got the wind deflectors over on the windows, and we've got the Transit ST stickers. Now I wasn't sure at first, but now seeing those more, quite do like those in the anthracite colour, so they're going to stay. See, as we come up front, all this has been colour coded, so bits like this should be black. You can see it's got front lip on it, and also black headlights. Now I think they're black from factory. I don't think anyone's done those aftermarket, but you can see it's got quite a sporty front end, which I really like on this, and it's the reason I went for the Transit and this one in particular. So yeah, really smart. It's got those roof bars as well, although when we go to the camper conversion, they'll be gone. But you can see that yellow really pops in the sunlight. Looks super smart. Then just a little tour of the interior. So short wheelbase van, so this just unbolts, so we're going to take that out obviously, so we've got extra cabin space in here. Now the company that bought it off actually re-ply lined the interior of this. Now those bits on the back will may stay, but the rest of this will pop out because I want to get the factory panels to re-trim, because this will all be carpeted and everything inside eventually. So but you can see it's a nice clean van. The back is obviously showing more signs of wear and tear, but you'd expect that it's been used as a van over the years. So, but all this will be cleaned up, treated, and then we're carpeting the van anyway, so you won't see any of this yellow once it's all done inside. Okay, for anyone that doesn't know their vans, so this is a Ford Transit Custom. It's a 2014. So the Transit Custom is basically the slightly smaller version of the Transit, which it's not as small as the Connect, which is more like car based. This is sort of the in-between van. So it's very similar to the sort of the VW Transporter that you see so many converted into camper vans. So it sort of drives more like a car, is what I'm told. So this particular model, so it's done, I think, 103,000 miles, but it's an XAA van, so it's got full service history. And these engines have been around, it's a 2.2. And they've been around for a long time, so they're really reliable from what I understand, compared to what is the facelift version that came out. I'm going to correct myself here, but I think around 2018 the facelift came out. So the facelift model that has a wet belt system, so basically your timing, instead of having a timing chain, you have a belt that's inside the engine, so that's still obviously a serviceable item, and obviously you have to get a lot more work in to get that changed. So, and there's a few issues with that system anyway. So I specifically went for a pre-facelift version, so I didn't have to deal with those problems. And to be honest, other than the headlights, which are much nicer on the facelift version, definitely they have nice DRLs around the outside, actually it's pretty similar. Things like the head unit is a little bit nicer on the facelift, but again, everyone knows my channel, I'm quite happy to fit new head units and everything else, so everything's available to modify these. So like the seats and everything, you can get swivel bases. This wall behind me here, this couldn't unbolt out, so we can do the camper van conversion. So yeah, there's going to be lots to do on this. As with any of my other builds, I know this isn't going to be for everyone, but for those that are interested in what it actually takes to convert a literal panel van, and I'll show you in a minute, a literal panel van to a camper van, that's exactly what we're going to work out. So this particular version of the Transit, it's got lots of sort of options, so things that you just expect and become the norm when you're buying minis, like air conditioning. So very few of these vans actually have air conditioning built into them, so I made sure this had the option, because obviously driving this around in the summer, going for walks, etc., air conditioning is a must. So it doesn't have cruise control, but I understand you can retrofit that, so that's something I'm going to look to retrofit, hopefully myself, rather than having to pay to get someone to do that for me. Then it's got things like heated seats, it's got heated wing mirrors. So I mean, it's got a million cubbies and spaces to store things. That's the big surprise for me, is actually in the cabin of this, actually how many storage spaces there are. In terms of the mileage, I mentioned it's got 103,000 miles, so it's a 2014, so it's up 9 years old. The only thing that's really showing wear is the steering wheel. It looks like it's probably had a new gear knob, because that looks nice and new. But the steering wheel, again, I think I'm going to have it retrimmed to match the exterior of the car. So maybe some black Alcantara with some yellow stitching. So there'll be a video, I'm sure, on how to change that at some point in the future. Also, obviously, the engines in these 2.2, they come in 3 different versions. I think it's 100 brake, 125 brake, and around 180 brake. Now that's just a software difference on all the different versions from Ford. There's no mechanical differences in those engines, so at some point I will get this remapped as well, because this is the middle of the ground one, so I think this is around 125 130 brake horsepower, something like that. But we'll get that up with the torque levels, so sensible, don't want to go too crazy, but just especially when we put the extra weight in the back when we do the conversion, I think we definitely want to do it. So then just a little tour of the interior. So short wheelbase van, so this just unbolts, so we're going to take that out obviously, so we've got extra cabin space in here. Now the company that bought it off actually re-ply lined the interior of this. Now those bits on the back will maybe stay, but the rest of this will pop out, because I want to get the factory panels to retrim, because this will all be carpeted and everything inside eventually. So you can see it's a nice clean van. The back is obviously showing more signs of wear and tear, but you'd expect that it's been used as a van over the years. So, but all this will be cleaned up, treated, and then we're carpeting the van anyway, so you won't see any of this yellow once it's all done inside. And from a building update, because I know I've mentioned it in a previous video, so you can see the garage build is coming along nicely. So we're not quite got the roof on yet, so the beams are in, you can see, but we're not watertight yet. So the wood has been delivered and is over there for the roof itself, so that roof will be going on this week, and we should be watertight within the next sort of 10 days or so, hopefully. And then we've got garage door fitter moving the garage door to the new opening, which is the same size but moved to the middle. We've got a concrete base going down as well, so concrete floor with as little slope as possible, so we can get the cars in. And then once this is watertight, this whole entire wall and opening here will be going, so we'll be having a steel across the top there and losing that wall that sticks out within a tiny little pillar there. So yeah, that's really exciting as well. That's the introduction of this van today. I'll do a video and a whole series in terms of the camper van conversion. So the next video we'll talk through the plans for the camper van conversion, and then what you'll find is, just like I've done on all my minis and other cars, is every job that I do on this van, I'll do a how-to video step by step, so any of you out there that want to do the same, you can see exactly what's involved and whether you want to give it a go yourself. So if you like today's video, please hit that thumbs up button, like and subscribe to get notifications every time we upload new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.